Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson, and this is my review for the infamous Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, I am planning to do a spoiler review for the Rise of Skywalker still, but ever since The Force Awakens came out, I've wanted to do a review for the Holiday Special, and I just figured, you know what? It'd be better if I waited till the entire sequel trilogy is finished. Now that the sequel trilogy is done, out of the way, I can finally talk about this legendary piece of Star Wars media. Everyone knows the story about this special, but it was made in 1978. It aired on CBS one time, and this is the only Star Wars project that Lucas is ashamed of. He's even said that, look, if I had the time, I'd go out and destroy every copy out there, which I don't know how you destroy YouTube videos, I guess. I don't know. Point is, he's ashamed of it. This has been the stuff of legend. And I'd seen the Nostalgia Critics review of this movie, but I've learned that after time, you really don't get the full impact of watching someone's review unless you actually see the movie for yourself. And having seen this special for myself at long last, I gotta be honest, I didn't think it was that bad. Now, it's not good, but much like with the prequels, and even with the Rise of Skywalker, I think people are greatly exaggerating how bad this actually is. So what's the plot? Well, the plot is that it takes place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Han and Chewbacca are heading back to Kashyyyk, the Wookiee homeworld, so Chewie can be reunited with his family and celebrate Life Day. They're not really specific on what Life Day is, and I don't know what any extended piece of work has said about Life Day, but from what I understand, it's pretty much either Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, or Christmas in the Star Wars universe, because it's about families coming together. So the two of them have to head back to Kashyyyk, but the planet and Chewbacca's homestead are under Imperial occupation. And it should be as simple as that, but to be honest, nothing happens in this special. And that's the main reason why I say this is not as bad as people make it out to be. Because when I think of something that's truly terrible, I think of something that's either offensive, like the Michael Bay Transformers movies, or incompetently made. And this is neither of that. This is just a lot of nothing happening, and it's a wonder that they even got the original cast to come back. Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels, and even James Earl Jones lends his voice as Darth Vader in a deleted scene from A New Hope that they reworked into this special, and in animated form. I'll get back to that part a little later, but it's just a dull special. Whether it's Chewie's wife Mala looking up how to cook certain recipes in a galaxy far, far away, whether it's his son Lumpy watching cartoons or watching instructional videos, or whether it's his father Itchy looking at the weirdest non-pornographic porn I have ever seen in anything. I gotta address this right now, but the scene where Itchy is watching this VR, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just so bizarre because it's very sensual, and Itchy looks like he's really having a good time. Like, he has an itch down there, and you know, I don't even know if I want to go down this hole, but it's a pretty bizarre moment. Now, like I said before, they brought the cast from A New Hope back. The only one that didn't come back is Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan because, you know, dead, and they didn't invent the concept of the Force Ghost yet. But each of these cast members just look weird, and they really don't seem to be putting their all into it. I really can't describe Mark Hamill because he just looks kind of bizarre. He looks like a Ken doll. He's got a Ken doll style perm, which looks weirder than his hair in A New Hope. There's something about the makeup on his face that just looks... it's hard to describe, but Mark Hamill just looks weird here. And then with Carrie Fisher... Okay, the one thing I love about Carrie Fisher in this special is that she's not hiding the fact that she is clearly stoned. It's like when Anne Hathaway and James Franco hosted the Academy Awards, and it's clear that James Franco is high as a kite. Carrie Fisher is that way too, and I know she did a lot of drugs back in the day, but in A New Hope, I don't know whether she wasn't doing it while filming or she was good at hiding it, but here, she ain't hiding it. Like, she is clearly stoned, and there are points where she's clearly not making eye contact with what she's supposed to be making eye contact towards. Harrison Ford is the only one of the trio that looks normal, and he's the one that kind of puts his all into it because he's the one who's actually being proactive rather than the other two who are just off somewhere minding their own thing. And one of my favorite parts about the Han and Chewie scenes is that they're in the cockpit of the Falcon, or at least a very cheap and wobbly version of the Falcon cockpit. And what I love about those moments is the game I like to call guess the stock footage, because in between the scenes that they filmed for the special, they integrate a bunch of stock footage from A New Hope of the space sequences, and you can just tell instantly what's part of the special and what was from the movie by the frame rate. It's kind of funny, and this special does that quite often. The biggest thing about this special that everyone talks about is the animated sequence, which is probably the best part of the special, to the point where they even put it in the Blu-ray set for the first two trilogies. And it's the only part of the special where I'm like, alright, it's Star Wars being Star Wars. The animation is weird as hell, especially when it comes to C-3PO's sideways blinks, R2-D2's really rubbery motion, or Han Solo's really bizarre face. But I don't know, I'm having fun. It's like the equivalent of the pod race in Phantom Menace, where everything beforehand was so dull and so boring that when you get to this, you're like, oh thank God something's happening. And this moment right here is famous for the introduction of Boba Fett, who, as we all know, became a huge character within the Star Wars universe for doing nothing, and this is coming from someone who loves Boba Fett. But I find it interesting that his two weapons are weapons that the Mandalorian uses, whether it's the design of his pistol or that really cool disintegration rifle. There's really not much else to talk about with this special. It's just there. It's not offensive or downright terrible. Admittedly, it's too long, and because the special consists of nothing happening throughout most of it, that's why I feel like it's probably the worst thing with the Star Wars name on it. But at the end of the day, it never made me mad, which is why I say don't waste your money on it, which you probably wouldn't have to waste money on because it's already on YouTube. The stories of how bad this actually is are greatly exaggerated. That's not me saying that this isn't bad, it's just there's so much worse out there. And there you go, that's my review for the Star Wars Holiday Special. And now I want to know what you guys think about the special. If you've seen it, what did you think? Do you think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be? And keep your eyes open for another Christmas-related video that I have coming up very soon. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.